For tonight's premier host and speaker, we have Christopher J. Gadsden. Now, there is some suspicion as to why precisely he is here tonight, being an affluent writer and philanthropist to the underground city, as well as the chief citizen among the reptilian citizens of these lands. There are many reasons he might join such a political conference. However, his motives are still in the air. It would be best to see what he has to say. Oh, and speak of the devil, here he comes.
Fellow monsters, I bet you're wondering as to why I am joining such an assembly of thinkers. Why would I join such discourse for the beginning of an electoral season? Well, as you all know, I am typically the representative of the hard-laboring Nagas, Lamias, and other reptilian folk who dwell in the heated places of this realm. Today, that shall be changing, for on this very day I am announcing my candidacy for mayor of this great underground city. This cosmopolitan city has far too long lived in fear, so I shall see to it that I bring prosperity, just as I have brought such to my brethren. I shall see to it, if I am elected, that the constraints on travel and trade with the upper world will be reduced. We shall all live as free monsters, and stand in peace with the humans who live so far above us. Justice will be impartial, and no monster shall face discrimination. If I am elected, of course, great economic flow will return to these lands, as our resources will be able to be freely and voluntarily traded among those who can give us technologies which can help further our development. Furthermore, I will see to it that great freedom will be given to travel, if it can be best negotiated, of course, and given to speak and express ideas which rightfully need to be expressed. Far too long have the monster folk of this great realm lived with such constraints on their freedoms, almost as if we're still living under the humans. So, I suggest we bring a new era of unity among all the creatures of this earth, united by the principles of reason, logic, and intellect. No more should one have to fear the human, and no more should one have to fear any of the creatures that live on the surface. And through this removal of fear and the establishment of freedom, we shall all prosper to a greater future, for all creatures birthed from the soil of this earth. So, this is why I stand here today, backed by my people, to put myself forward on the ideals of prosperity and liberty, and to see if the great monsters of this nation so too wish to see these once more. So, with liberty and prosperity I stand, and together I stand with the great Libertarian Party, who, as you know, has been gaining popularity as of late. They promote ideals similar to mine, and have seen to it that great prosperity and liberty be brought to our city. So, it is of great importance that you, the great monsters of this nation, vote to elect who you see as the best leader for this city. In this, I believe we can, whether we win or lose, still stand united in victory together. However, if you see my ideals and those of my fellow colleagues as appealing, then it is best you vote for us. If you want prosperity and liberty, it is best to vote for us. So, while I am still up at this podium, I will begin taking questions in order to further inform the voter at the start of this great process. Any questions? Oh, you.
Yes, Mr. Gadsden. For what reason did you decide now the time to run?
That is a good question. I felt as if I recently had the possibilities of this great city revealed to me, and now I see that those possibilities are being seen by others across these parts. Oh, you, over there.
Yes, Gadsden. How do you expect to achieve these goals of liberty and prosperity?
That is a bit harder to explain. The simple answer is through the city councils, obviously. I would be attempting to pass new limitations on the authority of the governing and the policing and policing of the state, or rather the city, I suppose, as well as an attempt to pass some deregulations of the markets. In this, I will also authorize the establishment of an overworld ambassador, if possible, of course. Now, this does require the cooperation of all the monster representatives, or at least a majority. However, if I am to win, it will be guaranteed that the populace of this city will elect representatives of similar mindsets. Or at least that is what I believe should happen. It will be a process, but that is the necessary price the governing has to pay for proper progress. Any more questions? Oh, you over there.
Do these regulations mean removing some of the protections for workers in the environment?
That is often asked, but from my view, although I think these protections should be voluntarily agreed upon between employer and employee, I'll promise not to remove them. The deregulations of the market will primarily focus on goods and price regulation for such goods. You over there.
Do you plan on reducing any subsidization in general?
Oh, at the current moment, no. However, in the future, the ideal is that certain industries become more efficient and less dependent on government tax dollars. Yes, you all the way in the back.
Will your plan affect the education system and any funding to such system?
I, I think through budget balancing, I plan on getting the education system better funding. In order for there to be prosperity, I believe there is a need for good education. I will leave how the system is run left to the education councils and assemblies for each district. Are there any other questions? No? Well, it was a pleasure to announce my candidacy. I thank you for your insightful questions, and I further look forward to how this campaign goes, and of course, I look forward to a better future. Thank you all very much for coming.
Wow, that was quite a lot to unpack, but, still not as much as most. Don't you agree?
Yes,
He truly is a very simple man. I suppose he must have places to go with how short that speech was. Well, I suppose there was not much to talk about. I mean, he only really announced his candidacy and elaborated on some of his ideas through the questions. I guess we'll have to see what his full policy list is in the future. Yes, we will. But for now, that is the end of this segment. Seems as if there are no more speakers for tonight, so I thank you, kind viewers, for watching tonight's broadcast. Tune in later for more discussions of this shocking new candidate.